What's up guys, the Snowman here, and today I wanted to talk some Euro 2020. Yes, even though it's been postponed to next summer, I'm still going to refer to it as Euro 2020 for now, but the field of 24 teams is officially set as of last week. The remaining 4 teams have qualified via their respective playoff paths. So today I just wanted to recap how the playoffs went and take a first glance at these new look groups for the Euros next year. And just a quick reminder of the 12 host city setup for Euro 2020. UEFA says they'll still go ahead with the 12 host city setup as intended. There was talks of maybe moving the whole tournament to the UK or elsewhere because of COVID, but as of right now, UEFA still intends to hold Euro 2020 in these original 12 locations. Now pulling up the 6 different groups of 4 teams each, I don't want to spend too much time harping on groups A and B since they haven't changed at all over the past year. I've actually already made my preview videos for groups A and B. Please check those out if you want. But the other 4 groups is where it gets interesting because last week we had the playoffs for the final 4 slots. And let's start with Group C, where North Macedonia advanced to their first ever major tournament to join the Netherlands, Ukraine, and Austria. This is how their playoff bracket shook out. All 4 of these teams coming from the weakest of the UEFA Nations League pool. So you might notice it's not the most daunting quartet, but North Macedonia was the slim favorite over Georgia, Kosovo, and Belarus. In the first semifinal, Georgia eked out a relatively lifeless win, 1-0 over the Belarusians thanks to a 7th-minute penalty. The second semifinal could have gone either way. Kosovo, who just became a member of UEFA and FIFA in 2016, looking for their maiden Euro finals, they fell 2-1 to the Macedonians. And then it was a fantastic final, North Macedonia versus Georgia. A very tense, scrappy evening, but in the 56th minute, North Macedonia's captain Goran Pandev delivered with a lovely flick to lead his team to victory. Pandev, the most capped player in his nation's history, also their all-time leading scorer. Extremely gratifying for Pandev and his teammates to make history for North Macedonia. Again, Euro 2020 will be their first major tournament appearance in the nation's history. Back to the groups now, and in Group D, you see it's England, Croatia, the Czech Republic, and newly added Scotland. This is how it went down in the Scots qualifying bracket. Unlike North Macedonia, they were not the favorites in their playoff path. A tough group led by Serbia and Norway, Scotland and Israel, the long shots. The first semifinal was a nail-biter until the very last kick of the ball, the Scottish defeating Israel in penalties. The second semi here then was, in my opinion, the best match of the entire playoffs. Norway versus Serbia, stars on both sides with young Erling Haaland and Alexander Kolarov. A rainy night in Oslo. The dynamic of the match completely shifted when Serbia brought Sergej Milinkovic-Savic into the game. I thought he injected new life and energy into the Serbs' attack. Both teams scored late in regulation, and then in the 102nd minute, Milinkovic-Savic scored one of the cheekiest chip goals you'll ever see. Serbia wins, and at that point I'm thinking there's no way Serbia doesn't qualify for Euro 2020. But Scotland was up to the task in the final, 1-1 through 90 minutes. Serbia with a late equalizer and a second consecutive penalty shootout for Scotland. They end up winning 5-4 thanks to goalkeeper David Marshall making a monumental save to deny the final kick of the game. Scotland celebrates this, their first major finals since 1998. And how cool is it that we'll get England versus Scotland at the Euros? Should be amazing theater. In Group E, the field is now set as well. Slovakia joining the likes of Spain, Sweden, and Poland. That's a very fun group. Like Scotland, the Slovaks had to endure a surplus of drama en route to their qualification. Semifinal 1 in this playoff path. The favorites, Bosnia-Herzegovina, upset by Northern Ireland in penalties. Northern Ireland frustrating the host with their compact back line that whole game. Semifinal number 2 was similar in nature between Slovakia and Ireland. Both squads were able to create chances, but no goals through 120 minutes. Slovakia prevailing by the skin of their teeth in penalties. A perfect example of the beauty and the cruelty of the sport. Both sides so evenly matched, nothing to distinguish between them. Slovakia captain Marek Hamšík referred to the shootout as a complete lottery, and for 4 of these Euro 2020 playoff games to go all the way to penalties was pretty astounding. The final was another classic with airtight margins. For a moment, it looked like it would be Northern Ireland's night. They received some help with a Slovakian own goal in the 88th minute to equalize. Kyle Lafferty had a screaming long-range effort in the 90th minute that hit the post. the football gods smiling on Slovakia. They score off a lucky ricochet in extra time to move on. Slovakia's second consecutive Euro appearance. And the last team from the playoffs to qualify in Group F, it was Hungary. They reward a spot in the ultimate group of death, a very intimidating gauntlet to try to get past in Portugal, France, and Germany. Not really a clear favorite in this playoff path. You could have made a case that any of Hungary, Iceland, Romania, or Bulgaria would see it through. Hungary's semifinal against Bulgaria was one of the only truly decisive contests of these playoffs. The Hungarians amassing a 3-goal advantage before winning 3-1. Then it was the darlings of Euro 2016, Iceland, their turn in the second semifinal against Romania. They've got a lot of continuity with their team. The Everton forward Gylfi Sigurðsson scoring a brace for Iceland in the 2-1 victory. And as for the final in playoff path A, perhaps the ultimate Houdini act, Hungary pulling a literal rabbit out of the hat. They were down 1-0 most of the game after their goalkeeper fumbled a Sigurðsson free kick early on, but a defensive error in the 88th helped tie things up for Hungary, and then in the 92nd minute with extra time on the horizon, Dominik Szoboszlai shoots a rocket from way outside the box that smacks off the post and in, sending Hungary through an Iceland home packing, one of the best goals of Euro 2020 qualifying. And to be completely honest, I don't think Hungary has much of a chance in the finals against Portugal, France, and Germany. But crazier things have happened. Nonetheless, a big congrats to Hungary and these 3 other teams that qualified from the playoffs. And before we go, I want to take a quick peek at the current Euro 2020 title odds with the field totally set now. This is according to Bovada. Belgium and England are joint title favorites at 5-1 odds. France right behind them. Germany in 4th at plus 700, but they did suffer a historic loss yesterday to Spain, 6-0. Netherlands, Spain, Italy, the defending Euro champions Portugal at 14-1. Maybe for a long shot, watch out for Poland or Sweden, but very exciting stuff. We are less than 7 months away. You know, I'm very sad that the Euros were postponed this year, but at least now we get them and the World Cup in back-to-back years. So please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for more football content. Check out my groups A and B previews. I'll have the other group previews in the coming months as well. Lots more Euro 2020 content is on the way. So thanks a lot for watching, and cheers.